Hi everyone, thanks. Weird standing here, but so my question goes to something that Gretchen alluded to, and many of you, that goes to empirics and collecting data, right? So in some way, the future of work, in some way we're there yet, but in some ways we're not, right? I'm giving an example of AI and automation. So we're making assumption of what the future of work will look like in maybe 2, 5, or maybe also 15 or 20 years. So let's assume we want to collect data about that. So and see empirically what that could look like. Do you have any suggestions on that? You said qualitative work, talk to people who are there yet. Anything else? Maybe also on the quantitative side that the people interested that should do.
I do think it's a great question. One of the ways I got interested in the future of work when I was studying thriving is I wrote a piece in the Harvard Business Review, and a practitioner came to me and he said, if you really want to understand thriving at work, you need to understand co-working spaces. And I was like, I don't even know what a co-working space is. This was like 10 years ago. It was in this conversation that kind of opened up a stream of research for me. This practitioner is now working as part of a startup where they're using big data. So you're wondering, how am I getting to your question? Big data, especially heat maps. People wear badges that have, sensing technology in it, and you're able to see how people are actually interacting when they're in open office spaces versus spaces where people have offices. And so I think there's some new technologies. Drew talked about AI. I think there's some other really interesting big data sort of opportunities where we can measure things in a way that we never could before. And I think that's interesting to look at. And I think by going to practitioners, they probably can see some of these technologies that we wouldn't even be aware of ourselves.
Just real quickly, I completely agree with what Gretchen said. I think experimentally, you might have to take risks on looking at technologies. So I just had a conversation with somebody who is putting people in virtual reality in the metaverse by using VR headsets and testing out what a virtual workplace might be when people are actually wearing something like an Oculus rather than just being on Zoom. Do we know that that's coming? No, we don't know, but you got to take a risk sometimes by taking a technology that's sort of on the forefront and testing out whatever process or theory you might be interested in.
I know I'm representing AMR, so I should be talking about data. But one of the things where there's huge opportunities now because companies are collecting a lot of data, right? And so part of the challenge is getting into these companies and asking for this data. The technology around text analysis, right, in the last 10 years, we've gone so far. I mean, we have multiple projects where we're going into companies and say, well, look at your documents and figure out managerial construal or whatever it is that we're interested in. And we can look at all of these things now. I think we're at a floodgate of amazing data opportunities that companies should be willing to allow us access to.
I think implicit in your question is a sense of, okay, is there enough scale and scope and richness of data available right now to test certain hypotheses we have in mind about the future of work? I think it's important to keep in mind scientifically, in my opinion, the goal is to always recognize that, if you're studying something that is of the moment of the era, it's still want to tie it in thematically to what we've been caring about for the longest, for a long period of time, or the decades that we've been focusing on management theory, management research. I think it's important not to draw a false dichotomy between what is timeless and what is timely. What is timely gives you a very good insight into what is timeless, just in a slightly different way. So if you're going to think about AI again, there have been 4 industrial revolutions according to historians. So what is it about the current industrial revolution that links and there is some continuity between this one and the prior 3? And if we think about it in that way, we have a longitudinal focus. All of a sudden, we recognize that the current moment is just one instantiation of a broader stretch, a broader arc that we're looking at. And we don't have to have the onus is not on us to have all of the data be of the moment. It can just be one condition in a broader series of data points that we're trying to map a phenomenon. So then it takes some of the pressure off of, we need to get all the data for the timely phenomenon.
And I think I'm seeing that maybe Kate has some comments if you want to chime in.
Yeah, I feel like I have to, given I'm from Microsoft tonight, your comments, I think, oh, am I breaking up?
You are.
Okay, I think I'm back. I'm just gonna turn my video off if that's helpful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it was being at Microsoft, I feel like I need to respond to what I'm hearing, and I 100% agree. And this is something I think about a lot, is creating more opportunities to form partnerships with academics, so we can do this work. And I think that that one of the things that's both humbling and encouraging, I guess, in some ways, is that even Microsoft has difficulty with accessing the data due to the way that we protect our customers' data and privacy. So there's a lot of hurdles, but we just need to, this is one of the things I'm very passionate about, is like figuring out how to do that so we can do that forward-looking work and prototype and test things out, things more work in the metaverse, for example, and collaborate. So that's my 2 cents there.
I just wanted to support Shad's point and say that from a practitioner perspective, I think that organizations' ability to collect data has gone far faster than their ability to use it. So when you do approach them as academics, be empathetic. They don't always know how the data that they have can answer the questions that they want. And you have to do a lot of exploring to understand what infrastructure they have. And often it's only on the 10th, 15th, 20th question you really unearth these data sets that can answer the questions that they seem to have to be really thorny. So just wanted to make the point, agree, we are in a golden age of data collection, but we're not yet in a golden age where practitioners can use it.